Cool? Come on, East Coast Cannabis Coalition. Come on now, I'm trying to I want people really to go to her organization now. The East Coast Cannabis Coalition. Big ups to the East Coast Cannabis Coalition. I said it so you will remember later. You're all stoners. And I know how stoners are, you forget shit. I forgot to say my name, for instance. I am the New Jersey Weedman. My real name, my government is Ed Fortune, but I've used the New Jersey Weedman as a gimmick to get publicity, to get press, and to advance our cause. And our cause is legalization. How many people here know me? And you know me mainly because of the press. And like Vanessa was saying, you got to use the press. I've always felt like I was using the press. I got called names for it, though, like media whore and stuff like that. But you know what? In the long run, people know my cause. I like to say big ups to Rob Robinson for having this. I happen to have been to the very first one, so it's cool to be here 19 years later. Times have changed. Actually, I went to 2 or 3 of the first ones, and then I had like a 12-year hiatus, and I came last year too. Who was here last year? I loved it, and I said I'm going back again this year. So once again, big ups to Rob Robinson and all the volunteers here who've been putting this on for 19 years. Hopefully we'll have a 20-year anniversary next year. Who's coming here for the 20th anniversary? There you go. Bring your friends, your cousins, and your mama next time, too. Bring more people with you next time. Times have changed, though. I feel like an old man now in this movement. Back in the 90s, I got busted in 1997 with a pound of weed. Well, actually with 39 pounds of weed. And I turned it around. I started fighting. And I started advocating a concept called jury nullification. And in 1997, people thought I was a wacko. Like, dude, you're talking your way into jail. I'm not sure if anyone knows, so I'm going to explain exactly what jury nullification is. I've actually had 2 cases that I call the jury nullification case, and I shouldn't even be standing here right now. I should be in prison if things had worked out the way the government had wanted it. But we'll go back to 1997 first. I got busted with 40 pounds of marijuana coming out of Arizona, some brick weed, but that's a 20-year case in New Jersey. But from the time I got arrested in November till April of '98, all I did was study marijuana laws. And one thing that got me was when I got arrested, I did get read my Miranda rights that said anything you can and do can and will be used against you. Well, I also turned it around. Everything has a reciprocal. So if it can be used against you, it can also be used for you. So I took that concept that I knew that there were people out there who believed that marijuana should be legal, and this is in 1997, not now. So in 1997, I still felt that I could at least get one person on my jury to believe that marijuana was wrong, that the laws were wrong, not just, they didn't have to rubber stamp it. And I got caught with 40 pounds, not 1 pound. People said I was crazy. But you know what? It took 3 years for the prosecutor to get me to trial. During those 3 years, I formed the Legalized Marijuana Party, and I ran for Congress, with a felony marijuana charge on me. That was in 1998. 1999, I said, what am I going to do this year? So I ran for state senate. And I got a couple thousand votes. People, again, thought I was crazy. But all I needed to do at the time, what I was doing, it was a plan, it was a method to my madness, to get a jury. I was trying to reach my jurors. And as it worked out, 3 years later, in 2000, I actually went to trial. And during the opening statement, one of my jurors started crying, said she couldn't send this man to prison. And the prosecution removed her. 2 or 3 jurors were shaking their heads constantly during my trial. They tried to remove another juror, and she decided to stay on. So the next morning, the prosecution offered me a deal. And I said for 3 years I wasn't going to take a deal, but on that 3rd day of trial, it went from 20 years to 6 months in jail they offered me. I had little kids. I took the deal. You know, they later reneged on me. I wound up doing 18 months in jail. But I said the only way I would take this deal is if the prosecutor, if the judge allowed me to poll the jury. And I had 5 jurors raise their hands that they were going to say not guilty if I had took it all the way to them. So I took it to trial. I backed out at the last minute, and then I always regretted it. For 10 years, from 2000, I did 18 months in jail, and then for 10 years, I regretted taking that deal. And I'm sure there's people out here who has regretted taking the deal. Who here has regretted taking the deal? You know, you forced into it, you were scared, whatever. I'm a victim of it. It happened to me. So, you know, like, fuck the law, fuck the government for that. But 10 years later, I got lucky, or unlucky. I got arrested again for marijuana. This time I got arrested for 1 pound of marijuana. And I argued again. I only need 1. This time I didn't take a deal. And I had 2 trials. This was in 2012. And I got a hung jury the first time, 7-5 for me. And I was caught red-handed. I had a pound of weed. Police officer pulled me over, searched my car. I was busted. But I argued to the jury that I was not wrong. The law was wrong. How many people here feel that way? So if you were on a jury by chance and it was a pot law, obviously a pot violation, you would say not guilty. So I felt the same way. Once again, I just knew that I would get at least 1. But I got 7. You know, that was cool. Hung jury. Prosecutor, judge were pissed at me. I mean, the prosecutor couldn't believe, here's some dread-headed dude, smokes weed every day, calls himself Weedman, is not really educated, and I won in court. I beat him. So the dummy decided to retry me since it was a hung jury. And the only surprise the second time was I got 12-0, not guilty. And I was guilty as fuck, man. I was guilty. And I got 12-0. And it's because I know a concept called jury nullification. I hope everyone here, you all got smartphones, go Google jury nullification. Google me, NJ Weedman, and jury nullification. I do give a lot of instructions online, and I get details with some of the legal motions that you can follow. Whether you do or not, whether you take the plea or not, you can use jury nullification to scare the bejesus out of the prosecution. They will start believing that, oh my God, what am I going to do? This guy knows about jury nullification. He's going to put a defense up asking the jurors to judge the law. And you know what? Maybe it happened like that first time with me. I got caught with 40 pounds. I scared them enough that they offered me such a sweetheart deal. I took it. But I hope in the future I would never ever take a deal, because I know what jury nullification is about. I know that most people in America believe that marijuana should be legal. Most people in America believe in the jury system. And if you're on a jury, I'm telling you, if you end up on a jury one day, man, just remember, man, you can save a person. You can save a person's life. You can rip them out of the jaws of the government just simply by voting your conscience and saying not guilty. All right, anyway, I'm out. Enough time. Last thing, October 17th, we have the New Jersey Cannabis Freedom Rally. That's next Saturday. I hope that you guys come. We're having, a big fuck you to Chris Christie, a civil disobedience. In fact, wait a minute, we got some cameras. Turn around. I need this. Chris Christie is running for governor, running for president, and I need this video that we're going to make a little video. Say, fuck no, Chris Christie.
Fuck no, Chris Christie.
Not just no. Come on, loud. Fuck no, Chris Christie. He will never be my president. One more time. Fuck no, Chris Christie. He'll never be my president. Exactly, man. You hear